Do you ever wonder what lurks in the shadows of the forest? What secrets lie hidden behind the trees? A forest is a place of beauty, but it can also be a place of terror. Many hikers have ventured into the woods, hoping to find adventure and excitement, but what they have found instead is something that defies all explanation. Something that chills them to the bone and leaves them questioning their sanity. In this story, we will explore the terrifying encounters of hikers who have dared to enter the woods. Brace yourself for a journey into the unknown, where the only certainty is fear. Let's begin! There was a group of hikers who wanted to explore the mysterious forest on the outskirts of their town. They heard rumors of strange occurrences and terrifying encounters in the forest, but they didn't believe in superstitions. They were confident that they could handle anything that came their way. As they made their way deeper into the forest, they felt the weight of the eerie silence pressing down on them. The trees were so dense that even the sunlight struggled to penetrate through the canopy. They soon realized that they were lost, and the only thing they could do was keep walking and hope that they would find a way out. As the night drew near, they stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin in the middle of nowhere. It was their only refuge, and they decided to set up camp inside. They built a fire, cooked their food, and tried to make themselves as comfortable as possible. But they soon realized that they were not alone. They heard strange noises coming from outside the cabin. The noises sounded like footsteps, but they couldn't see anyone or anything. Then they heard a low growling sound, which quickly escalated into a deafening roar. They realized that they had stumbled upon something that they couldn't comprehend, something that defied all logic and reason. The hikers soon discovered that they were being stalked by an unknown entity. They could hear its heavy breathing, smell its rancid breath, and feel its hot breath on their necks. They tried to escape, but it was impossible. The entity was always one step ahead of them. As the night wore on, the hikers realized that they were being hunted by something that was not of this world. They could hear its demonic voice whispering in their ears, promising to drag them down to hell. They could feel its cold hands on their shoulders, its foul breath on their necks, and its black eyes staring into their souls. The hikers tried to fight back, but their efforts were in vain. The entity was too powerful, too relentless. It had a hunger that could never be satisfied, and it would stop at nothing to claim its prey. As the dawn approached, the hikers found themselves on the brink of madness. They had been pushed to the limits of their sanity, and they knew that they were running out of time. They had to escape, or they would never leave the forest alive. With their hearts racing and their minds clouded with fear, the hikers made a run for it. They ran as fast as they could, desperate to escape the clutches of the entity. They didn't look back, afraid of what they might see. They ran until they could run no more. When they finally stopped, they realized that they had made it out of the forest. They collapsed on the ground, gasping for air, and thanking their lucky stars that they had survived. They knew that they had come face to face with something that was beyond their understanding, something that defied all logic and reason. From that day on, the hikers never returned to the forest. They knew that it was a place of darkness and terror, a place where nightmares came true. They knew that they had encountered something that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. And they knew that they would never forget the sound of its demonic voice, the feel of its cold hands, and the stare of its black eyes.
Before we continue to the next story, please subscribe to this channel for more. The Abandoned Trail, a terrifying encounter with the unknown. It was a beautiful summer day, and my hiking group and I decided to take a trail we'd never explored before. We'd heard rumors of strange occurrences in the area, but we brushed them off as superstition. As we walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the air grew colder. We realized we'd made a mistake, but it was too late to turn back. That's when we saw it, an abandoned cabin, sitting in the middle of a clearing. Despite our reservations, we decided to investigate. But as we approached, we realized the cabin wasn't empty. We heard a low growling noise, and suddenly, the front door burst open. We saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at us from the darkness inside. We tried to run, but we were surrounded by an impenetrable mist. We stumbled through the woods, our fear mounting with every step. The growling grew louder, and we knew something was following us. Suddenly, we came upon an old graveyard. The headstones were all crooked, and the names had been eroded away over time. But as we looked closer, we realized that the graves weren't empty. We saw shapes moving among the stones, and we knew that we weren't alone. We ran faster, our hearts pounding with fear. But no matter how far we ran, the growling and the mist followed us. It was like we were trapped in a nightmare. Finally, we came to a clearing, and we saw a figure standing in the middle. It was tall and slender, with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce our very souls. We knew then that we'd made a terrible mistake, and that our lives would never be the same again. We managed to escape, but the memory of that day still haunts us. We learned the hard way that some trails should never be followed, and that there are things in this world that are better left unknown.